All right, we want to start with Rob G. Do we have sound? Is there sound? Okay. So Robert Horry, who works for the Lakers, what is it, Spectrum Sports Net LA?
Yep.
Yep.
No, just Sportsnet. LA
Sportsnet?
is the Sportsnet LA is the Dodger one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he went out and said that LeBron should be mentioned or should be voted for as MVP. Let's hear Robert Horry.
LeBron James got the same calls as SGA does.
For real.
He would be averaging 30-plus points a game, and there'd be no question who's MVP because he's so much better, physically stronger, just LeBron James as a whole, and I think the league doesn't want to show favoritism. He should be MVP because he's putting in that type of work. And I might be a little biased, but I'm gonna sit back and say, league, you make a vital mistake if you give that to someone other than him as of right now.
All right, even he couldn't say it with a straight face and had to put it in there. I might be a little bit biased. And for people who don't know, he works for the Lakers broadcasting post-game show. So I'm not saying that he can't be honest or can't have an opinion on it. But the reason that he said that is because what are people supposed to expect when you're getting paid by the outlet that does Lakers games?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that LeBron is the MVP. I don't. I think you can make a case, obviously, for the Joker, SGA. Those guys are more in line. LeBron plays one side of the court. He's had a really good season. There's no doubt about it. But MVP, I don't think that he's the MVP. And I thought that this was a stretch. It was a prisoner of the moment. Yes, they won two close games against the Clippers over the weekend, and they got a star with them. There's no doubt about it. In Luka, we know what he can do. And if anything, I think if they start to play well and Luka's there, I think that takes away from actually LeBron being the MVP because people would go, is it LeBron or now that Luka showed up that the Lakers are way better? So I don't know how you get to that. I think it's off base.
Yeah, listen, Big Shot Bob is my guy, but he is drinking a little bit of the Homer Kool-Aid in Lakerville. But, as you mentioned, that's what he's seeing, that's what he's doing. But I think really what it is a compliment to LeBron. And what's funny is, you brought up a great point. If they go on a 20-game run or so, another one, because they're 15-3 in their last 18, and let's say they almost repeat it again, they got 23 games left. They say they go, 18-5 or something like that. Well, that means a lot of that will be that Luka have been playing
100%.
well, and it could take some away from LeBron. But I think specifically what Robert Horry is referring to is what we've seen during this tenure with Luka. And LeBron has been the one playing more consistent, more efficient, and better basketball than Luka right now. Luka's still trying to find his legs. Luka's still trying to find his footing, which is a compliment of how good Luka is in that he can drop 28, and you're like, oh, okay, he's not quite there yet. Drops 30, you're like, yeah, I can tell he's still knocking off some of that rust. This just shows how good he is. But LeBron has been a madman possessed lately in the last 7, 8, 10 games. Really, you can go back to ever since he turned 40. I mean, he's averaging 28 a game, almost 9 boards, almost 9 assists. I mean, he's looked spectacular. And again, when you start to look at this record, what the Lakers have been doing in the last, if you want to go 10, they're 8-2 in the last 10. If you want to go, like I said, 18, 15-3, they've had the best defense for almost 2/3 of the season. And it starts to become, that's who they are. They're actually a good defensive team.
2/3.
Yeah, they've been playing amazingly at the top 5 D, I believe it is, the last 2/3 of the season, and the best the last over a month. So they have found themselves playing good team defense, and a lot of it is because Vanderbilt, who they've had for a couple of years now, but has maintained, always been hurt. Now he's healthy, mucking up the game, getting steals, getting them extra possessions, guarding their best other team's winged players. Finney Smith, who they signed, maybe a month or so ago, he's been really well, can play big, can play small. Jackson Hayes has come alive down there in the paint, changing shots, blocking shots, rebounding. And this has freed up LeBron. LeBron, we know you called him a statue. I called him at times. They were the Lakers because they were letting people get by him. This Luka signing and Austin Reeves controlling the ball, both of them setting up the offense, controlling the tempo, has opened up LeBron to have spurts, Rob, where I can't give it to you 38 minutes a game, but I can give you spurts of good defense. I can give you spurts where I'm locking down
That's
wings.
just meaning that he can't play defense and for a little bit or stretch. I mean, he's 40 years old. What defense is he really playing? I don't buy that.
But I'm saying, if you're watching the games, he's playing great defense for small doses, and that's the best he can do. I agree. But it allows, because he doesn't have to go, I have to get the offense going. I have to be the one to start the offense. He can say, I'll play some spurts. I'll play some defense. They're doing good with the minute management, pulling them out. Because the minute you can pull them out, I can throw Luka in. How crazy is that? So it's allowing him to have some extra energy. So no, he's not the MVP. SGA is the MVP. If it's not him, it's Luka. LeBron could finish right there in the top 3 because the Vegas odds have him at 5th right now. I could see him getting up to 3rd. They finished with the 2nd best record in the West. That's today. I could see him in the conversation. They had a heck of a season. Maybe he gets
that wasn't what he said. He said that Robert Horry said to be MVP.
Absolutely not. He's MVP.
Okay, all right.
No,
that's what we get.
Cool. That's why I said he's drinking that Kool-Aid.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Let's be like tap the brakes.
No.
And he even had to say, well, I might be biased.
Could be a little biased.
Could be. Robert Horry, you are biased.
Nah.
And let's not forget during the LeBron, okay, this is the MVP season, and if you had somebody on the set who was willing to push back to Robert Horry and just say, hey, do you remember the 8-game stretch where LeBron averaged 19 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 5.3 turnovers per game, and had a team worst minus 72 plus minus? That's the guy who's going to be the MVP of the league? And then he took like a week off, just like out of nowhere. Do you remember that at all? I just, like, what season are we looking at? I just, for that to be because he's played well for a recent stretch that he's the MVP. He didn't say he's playing well at playing, I don't know,
he could be
MVP
first team
well
All-NBA.
or whatever you want to say. But to say that he's an MVP or should be the MVP in the league is preposterous.
Yeah, he's not, and I emphatically say he's not the MVP. And you know who else would say that? LeBron James would say he's not the MVP. What LeBron would be focusing on is, can I get this team? Can Luka get this team? Can JJ, Austin Reeves, or can we get to the Western Conference Finals and maybe make some noise? And then maybe, you never know, get to the finals and, hey, maybe be Finals MVP or something like that. That's his focus. LeBron himself would tell you he's not an MVP right now.
Even Vegas, and they're always trying to get people to entice them to put
and then
money
they got
up.
him at 5th, right?
And they got him 5th. Wow.
Yeah. So, but I think he could. Yeah, he'll end up at. I think he has a shot to end up at 3rd, depending on what the Celtics continue to do, and Tatum maybe getting a shot as well. But it's more or less, I think, Robert Horry has been infatuated with LeBron has done, especially since turning 40, because people are comparing it to.
You could talk about that. You know what I mean? I mean, there's room for that. I get that.
And the people are comparing it, Rob, to the MVP season he had with the Heat. His numbers currently, or this 10, 12, 15-game run, are better than what they were then. So a lot of people say, well, he was the MVP then, but it's like, no, you got to, come on, that ain't apples to apples, because what Jokic is doing is utterly ridiculous. Might I remind people, let me remind people, what Jokic is giving people 29, 13, and 10.
Stop it. Stop. Right.
And LeBron this season's giving you 25, 8, 9. Incredible. All first team, honors, deservedly so. If he ends up making it one of the forwards in that I'm all with it. But Jokic is putting up absurd numbers. The only thing I'll say, last point, that could be not in favor of LeBron actually winning, but having people like a Robert Horry, who obviously is a little biased, saying, wow, this is an MVP candidate type season, is because no one had second in the West expectations for the Lakers. Nobody had that.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go.
7, 8, 9, 10. People, I had them finishing maybe in the top 4 at best. That's where I had them at best, let alone top 2. So I think that it has weighing more, even more than his stats, is that the Lakers are currently, as we said, second in the West. Check them out. They're the way tire buying should be. Rob and I having a conversation because Big Shot Bob, Robert Horry, said that LeBron should be who folks are considering the MVP. Both of us said, pump the brakes, Big Shot, not right now. That is SGA's to have.
He's made a lot of big shots in his life. That was an air ball. I'll just say that.
All right. I see what you're doing on a Magic City Monday. I like it.
Yes.
That's what we say. Love what the Lakers been doing, love what LeBron's doing and all, but he's not an MVP right now. And that is okay because I don't think he wants to be. I think he wants to get somewhere deep into a playoff run. 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
Jake in Kansas. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jake?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Doing great.
Going good.
Well, yeah, Kelvin's got me missing Bruless. I'll just say that. Shout out, Kelvin. But
That's okay. You're allowed to say that.
I'm thinking if Diana Taurasi can go to the Olympics when she's 40, why can't LeBron be an MVP when he's 40? I mean,
Nobody says he can't be. Look at the stats. Have you seen that? Kelvin just told you what the Joker's doing. Did he tell you?
Exactly. I mean, Embiid got voted in. It was a joke. I mean, it should have been Joker 3 years in a row, but it can go in your favor or against you because it's a popularity contest. That's just my put.
All right, no problem. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate
the call, Jake.
Yep, no doubt. Andre in Massachusetts. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for taking the call. Listen, Adam Silver, did he create an MVP for the senior NBA? Is there a 40 and over MVP? Is that what we're doing
must
now?
be. I know.
Okay, because under that category, yes, LeBron would be at the front of the line, but clearly this year in the NBA, we cannot have him usurping, specifically Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and what OKC is doing. Shout out to Donovan Mitchell, okay, and what's going on with Cleveland, right? These awards are about winning, and they're about preeminence over the course of the year. Now, I think to Bob's point, and I think what you're seeing is athletes, right? You want to give the nod to other athletes. Rob, you kind of talk about that.
Yep.
But people are coming to realize the Lakers are a game or two away from the number 2 seed in the Western Conference and being in serious conversations to challenge. OKC is the clear-cut number 1. But with this whole Luka Doncic trade and the smoke starting to clear and people starting to realize you have 2 generational all-time players that are both playmakers on a team that
Andre, I get all that, but that's not what the MVP is. I'm talking about there's no way LeBron is honestly in the conversation. That's what I'm asking you. Is he?
No.
Okay,
except
that's
for
what
the
I'm
40
saying.
and over league, for the older guys.
That's what I'm saying. I get the team and where they go, and if they get knocked out in the first round, it'll be because well they weren't together long enough, and that'll be the excuse, or they're still trying to feel each other out, or defensively they got some issues. They're gonna have to get more help for LeBron or something like that if they get knocked out early by Denver or some situation. Rob G, jump in.
Just quickly, you're saying LeBron's not in the conversation, right?
No,
right?
no.
So then what is the conversation with top 1, top 2? Like, what is it?
I say top 3, like, wouldn't you?
So he's not top 3?
No.
Why would he be behind Giannis or Tatum?
Or Donovan Mitchell?
Donovan Mitchell doesn't play enough to be in the NBA.
It's not Mitchell. No,
well,
it's not Mitchell.
Okay. Well, what they're doing is amazing.
He's great.
What they're doing is amazing.
Yes.
What I watched Friday night, I was like, wow, in Boston. But LeBron, with the addition of Luka, I just think that is the part that hurts him. Actually, if he was doing this and say AD was in and out and they were at the ascend. And it wasn't, and I know that Luka hasn't been here throughout the whole thing, then you would have a different argument. I just don't understand how you could look at Denver and OKC and what they've done and not think that those 2 guys are clearly.
Of course, those 2 guys are
clearly.
So that's why
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, Rob G. It ain't. If your MVP conversation is 5 deep, was the NFL MVP really more than? It
was 2 guys.
It was 2 guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I look at the NBA. Is that fair?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because it's like the way Andre dismissed, he's saying only guys over 40, and it's like, well, I mean, if you really want to parse it, there's a reason why Vegas has been number 5.
Well, I told you, Rob G, he can work it up to 3. If they win if they end up second in the West, they go on another crazy run. They got 23 games left. Say they win, they go 16-7 or 17-6, something like that. They end up near 55-ish wins, somewhere around there, when nobody had them coming in second. I absolutely believe that he could, finish third. I just think SGA is too far ahead with what he and OKC are doing. They're the number 1 defense throughout the season. He's scoring 30 a game again. I just think he's kind of got and you know my theory, it's his time. They're tired of Jokic, so I think he can't
that's
surpass
ridiculous.
Jokic.
That whole thing is stupid.
It's true. I don't disagree with you, Rob, but it's true.
Let's squeeze one more in. Drew in New Jersey. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Drew?
Yeah, he's not in the MVP conversation, but the one thing I will say is the defense portion I keep on hearing. I think because Luka's there, in the playoffs, all you need is timely stops. And I think even at 60 years old, I think LeBron James is still going to be a better defender than Nikola Jokic ever will be, even in his prime. So the idea that, I'm one that believes Nikola Jokic is the best player in the league, but I don't think defense is a 50-50 split. I think he's still an atrocious defender. The only difference is he's so dominant offensively, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, his numbers are ridiculous, just what we've seen. I mean,
do you agree with that statement? Or you think he's a good defender?
No, I don't think he's. I don't think he's the best defender, but I don't think LeBron is either. And that -7.
Do you think he's a better defender, though? Do you think he's a better defender?
I think, without a doubt, LeBron's a better defender.
I think LeBron can, in certain situations, come up with a play.
That's all you need.
Sure, but
that's all you need.
Yeah, but I also saw what the Hornets did with the Joker. Do you remember when they beat the Lakers in L.A.? They went right at him. They just. And this is what happens. The playoffs are different. You know that. And this is where matchups come in, who you got. Thanks for the call, Kelvin. And things change in the postseason. They just do.
Without a doubt. So we'll have to see how this thing's play out. But, man, they've been on a run for sure. Hey,